my next move is to square us up and get a string line set so we can start laying pavers. The measurement from, because we're going to square this off with the foundation of the house, the measurement from the foundation to the end of this post right here is 143 inches even. So square that off, come over here, put the tape measure off of that foundation. There's a little bit of a jet in right here, so obviously I'm not going off of that, but I'm going off of this wall that's flush with the other wall we measured off of. So we got that up against there, and I have a stake with the outside of the stake is right at 143. So we're going to send that string from the post to this stake, and that's our square line with the house. We're going to do a little bit of a slip knot here. So we pull them both forward like this. We're going to loop under the other one, under all three like this, and we're going to bring it back over these two and through our hole, and that's going to give us a slip knot. Wrap this string back around the other side here, and I'm not so concerned about the height of this string. It's just a guideline for the pavers. It's not our height line. We already have our height line adjusted with our screed rails. So we're going to take this and we're going to pull it down to the other side. Here, all I'm doing is wrapping the string around the stake, and I'm pulling it nice and tight. I'm taking all the slack out of it, and what I'm going to end up doing once it's nice and tight is, I think I'm going to show you here in a minute, is I'm going to take the lower string with all the tension it has, and I'm just going to pick it up over that top string, and the tension on the string itself is actually what's going to hold it in place without having to tie any knot. As you'll see right here, I just lift it up and over the string that I looped, and the tension itself holds the line. And when you need to take it off, you don't have to untie any knots or anything. All you gotta do is just relieve the pressure like you're about to see, and you can take it off and then set it up again real quick. You're about to see. Pull it nice and tight both sides. Once you got enough tension, you lift the bottom string over the top string, and the pressure holds it by itself. And that's it. We know we're square with the house, and then it's the other thing is to put a stake over there and run it that way and square it off with this string line. And we have a, at that point, we have a guideline to start laying pavers. And then once we start laying pavers, it goes quick. So hope you guys like that little string line trick, and I know it's been extremely helpful with me through my whole career. You know, I mean, especially right here, we only set up 2 lines, but I've had to do things where you set up multiple lines, and knowing that trick can really save a lot of time, a lot of aggravation, and make you look like a professional. Alright, that string line trick, guys, really is helpful. If you can practice that and get it down, it's going to save you a lot of time throughout the day and give you more accuracy. But I'm setting up the guideline now. If I had Benny there on site, it would have been a little easier, but I had to kind of jerry-rig up a little paver holder, I guess, for my square and check on it a couple times, but we ended up getting it. Alright guys, we got our square all set up. So, this line right here, nice and square with the back of that square, and then that line very square with that square. The reason this is so important, guys, is we're starting to lay pavers in the patio area. So if it's off square with this house at all, once we get over to this walkway, it's going to be very noticeable. So that's why we had to square the walkway first. This is the line we're most worried about, is the square with the walkway in the house. So when I start laying pavers, I'm going to follow this line. That way when I get to the walkway, we know our lines are going to go straight down the walkway as well. laid so far. My squared off string line's giving me a nice guideline. Honestly guys, if you don't give yourself a nice squared off guideline, your patios and your lines will just never be as crisp as they should be. I just wanted to take a second and answer a few questions that I get asked a lot by customers and people that work with me that haven't done this too much, and that is, is there a pattern that you're laying? And unless there's a set pattern by a customer, or if you're using like a one size paver, there's a couple of different ways to lay them. But so the pavers we're using here today is Genest is the manufacturer, Genest. It's called Grand Katahdin is the style, and the style is a three size pattern, I guess, or style. There's 3 different pavers. There's a large rectangle, a small rectangle, and a square. Something that I tell people is not a pattern, it's random, but there's some things that we look out for and that we try not to incorporate into the patio. One of which are long joint lines, like a running line that goes like maybe 8-10 pavers or more. It's really noticeable when you have a lot of pavers in a row and long joint lines. The most important thing to me to watch out for, and I'll do honestly almost anything I can to not have in my patios or walkways anywhere, and it's called a 4-way. That's what I call it, 4 ways. What I mean by 4 ways is when you have 4 pavers meeting in corners like that, it makes almost a plus sign. If you have a lot of those in your patio, it's very noticeable to, I think, professionals, people that know what they're doing. It almost, if you have a lot of them, it looks like it's a bunch of patios in one. A good random pattern shouldn't have any 4 ways in it. We have a joint line going, 3 pavers is good, 4, 5 if you have to. Like, okay, here's a good example right here. I have 4 pavers and it's broken up on each side. And then right here, I'm coming over here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pavers. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna find a small one, and I need to break up this joint line right here. So I'm gonna put this small one here. So now I'm gonna get a big one here. And that breaks up our long joint line here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 pavers, broke the line. So that's a very important thing, the 4 ways. Long lines you want to break up. You don't want to have a lot of the same sizes in a row. You don't want to have a bunch of squares next to each other, a bunch of big rectangles next to each other, or a lot of small ones. You start putting a lot of small ones together, you get stuck into a position where you have to put a lot of small ones together, and just kind of, again, a little cheesy. So we want to be vigilant of our joint lines. No 4 ways, no 4 ways, no 4 ways at all. Don't like 4 ways. It's probably the worst thing you can have in a patio in my eyes. So I hope that kind of answers a little bit of the questions on whether it's a random, it's just a random pattern. There's no set pattern. You can find patterns on how to lay these, but again, I don't even like that, because then the more you look at the patio, you can see that there is a pattern. I like it to look very random and staggered. So we're looking pretty good, guys. We're looking good. I'm gonna throw you back up on the time lapse. Morning, everyone. We are back here after a long, rainy, and wet weekend. Rained Friday all day, then we had the weekend, rained a little bit Sunday. Today's Tuesday. Yesterday it poured all day. So, anyway, we're back. Just how we left the job. Looks really nice. Here's our border pavers. Nice Hollandstone charcoal color. Bring a couple back there. Show you guys the nice contrast. Bye, Ben.
Bye.
That'll be the border around the fire pit and around the whole patio, walkway, in front of the sitting wall that we build. Alright, so I'm setting up another section of screed rails or screed pipes, whatever you want to call it. If you want to check out the previous video, it's called Screeding the Base for a Paver Patio the Right Way. And I go into a little bit more depth on how and why I screed the way I do and why we use the material that we do. It's a 1/4 inch chip rock, and it's permeable, allows for water to drain through it, and keep the concrete pavers out of any kind of water and moisture. Okay, everyone, we got I don't know, 94.68% of the patio laid. Stop right there. Benny just screeded another section of pipe, so we'll probably finish wrapping around like that and pop out into the entrance. Alright, this is going to wrap up this part of the video of us laying the paver patio. If you want to check out the channel to see how we cut all these pavers and did the inner radius cuts to make these border bricks fit, make sure you check it out. Here's the thumbnail, and it's definitely pretty interesting. It's a lot different cutting inner radius than outer radius cuts, so make sure you check that out. And we also got another video after this one on how we cut the whole edge of the patio and walkway and installed the border around the patio as well. But here I am just kind of wrapping up this little patio area that we're laying. And like I said, guys, make sure you check out the channel for those other videos. But thank you for watching.